गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। नमामि गौडपादं च शङ्करं श्रीसुरेश्वरं स्वामिनं सच्चिदानन्दमिन्द्रं तं ज्ञानरूपिणे। Okay, we were discussing adhyasa. Ahamidam mamedam iti vyavahara. There is a vyavahara on the part of everybody, like which runs like this: Ahamidam mamedam. I am this and this is mine. So the very thought I am this involves adhyasa. Very thought I am this involves adhyasa, that is superimposition. Means the I, aham, the thought of I can never exist independent of anatma mixing with it. In fact, nobody has a thought of I without including body, mind and sense organs in it. Without the body, without mind, without sense organs, you cannot have a thought of I, because when these are removed, set aside, Atma becomes a Sakshi, which is not an object of I thought. So the reference of Atma through I disappears. So Aham Pratyaya Vishayatvam, the very Aham Pratyaya Vishayatvam itself is Adhyasa. So because for sake of speaking, for sake of Adhyasa, we say Aham Pratyaya Vishaya and Yushmat Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya, both are coming together. This is a way of telling, this is a prakriya. But Aham Pratyaya Vishaya and Yushmat Pratyaya Vishaya, these two did not exist separately and come together. Okay. When you say Aham Pratyaya, it already includes Idam. That means Asmat Pratyaya, once you say the Aham Idam, the thought of I, the I notion, Asmat Pratyaya atava Aham Pratyaya itself is an Adhyasa. Not that, see the way, in way of telling we say Aham Pratyaya Vishaya is imposed on Idam Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya is imposed on Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. We say, when we say, people generally try to think that they are two coming together. Okay. They are two coming together. That is a mistake. Then how to understand it? Once you say aham, already idam is included in it. Because without idam pratyaya, aham pratyaya doesn't come into existence. There was no aham pratyaya vishaya before adhyasa takes place. Okay. Before adhyasa takes place means adhyasa is not an event. Without adhyasa, let us say, instead of calling before, let me say without adhyasa. Without adhyasa, there is no aham pratyaya. In aham pratyaya, adhyasa is already there. This way we have to understand. Once you say aham pratyaya, there is already adhyasa. So, aham and idam, aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya, and their adhyasa are not two. This is what we have to understand. Aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya, first existing separately and later they combining. We shouldn't understand this way. Because there is no aham pratyaya, idam pratyaya vishaya before and they are coming together at a later stage. These two steps don't exist. In fact, anubhava is one. Once you say aham pratyaya, there is already adhyasa. Already adhyasa is included in it. Because once you say aham pratyaya vishaya, idam is already included. Without idam, aham thought cannot arise. There can't be pure aham thought without the relationship of idam thought. Okay, aham, idam, they are always together. Idam, in the aham pratyaya, relationship of idam or inclusion of idam is already there. Okay, including of anatma. That means when the atma becomes a pratyaya vishaya, when the very sakshi advitiya chaitanya atma becomes a vishaya, an object of a thought, like aham thought, an object of aham pratyaya vishaya, that itself is adhyasa. So generally we say aham pratyaya, as Swamiji told before, aham pratyaya vishaya is atma, that atma is imposed on yushmat pratyaya vishaya. When he said it, we generally tend to think that atma is aham pratyaya vishaya before adhyasa and later adhyasa is taking place. That's not the way. Because aham pratyaya vishaya itself is adhyasa, then before adhyasa there is no pratyaya vishaya. Atma is avishaya. Atma is an object of no thought. Once it becomes a thought, vishaya, once you see it as an object of a thought, adhyasa is already there. That is adhyasa. Therefore, aham pratyaya vishaya, once you say, idam is already included. Aham idam. That's why Swamiji told, aham idam naisargikoyam loka vyavahara. Bhashyakara says, it is such a natural vyavahara on the part of all jivas, that aham idam. Now, jiva is doing vyavahara. We shouldn't think that first jiva and later vyavahara. No. The very jivatvam and his vyavahara, both are one. Because the I am so and so, I think of myself as I am so and so. On this thinking alone, you become jiva, you become an individual. You are an individual. It is not that first you are individual, later you think of yourself as an individual. It's not that way. Aham pratyaya vishaya or an individuality itself is due to adhyasa. The very jivatvam is due to adhyasa. When there is no aham pratyaya vishaya, when there is no individuality, atma is directly sakshi. There is no jiva bhava, there is no adhyasa, there is no aham pratyaya vishaya. So the very aham pratyaya vishaya is adhyasa. Isn't it? The very aham pratyaya vishaya. Once you say aham pratyaya vishaya, in that thing, aham, there is no pure aham. Aham, when you say, already I am so and so. I am like this. I am of this nature. I am like this. Aham idam. That idam already included in it. Because without an imagination about myself, aham pratyaya can't arise. Once it arises, then it is a vishaya. Because the very thought makes it an object. The very thought, once you have a thought about it, then it became an object already. Therefore, in aham pratyaya vishaya, idam is included. That means anatma is already included. Therefore, aham idam. Similarly, mamedam. Mamedam means the rest of the world. Once the aham is there, it is the extension of aham idam as mamedam. So, the mama, this is mine. When you say mine, mama, aham is presupposed. Without presupposing aham, idam, mama doesn't arise. The very fact that I have a thought of mama, I have a thought of mine, shows that there is an aham already. So this aham, mama, these two thoughts are there naturally in us, and these thoughts presuppose mixing of superimposition of atma, anatma, mamayam putraha, mamedam mitram, mamedam gruham. In all these things, anatma is a object of consciousness. What is anatma? How do you say? When you say aham, you have a thought. A thought means already what is an object of a thought is anatma. What is an object of thought is an anatma. When Atma becomes an object of I thought, it has become an object already. See, when Atma becomes an object of I thought, when I refer to myself I, that means it becomes referable. It becomes a referable, it becomes a known. That being known, that once it becomes an object of our thought, that is Anatma. Because Anatma is object of consciousness. Now the Atma is pure Sakshi. We are taking pure Sakshi as object of I thought. Pure Sakshi is an object of no thought. Okay, I say this again. Pure Sakshi is an object of no thought. But we take Sakshi as an object of I thought. That means it has become an object of one thought. That becoming an object of a thought is Adhyasa. Becoming means you find it. It's not a becoming being. There is a way of expression. Don't say that there is an event happening and all that. What is not an object of any thought appears to be an object of a thought. So that is Adhyasa. So Aham Pratyaya Vishaya itself is Adhyasa. And there is no pure Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. When you say I, there is already an element of Idam included in it. Because without Idam, purely I thought doesn't exist. Okay. Pure I thought doesn't exist because if Idam is disconnected, that we have been telling. If Idam is disconnected, Aham also disappears. You become without thought. That means you understand that you are independent of any thought. Sakshi is independent of any thought, independent of any notion. Once you get a thought that I, that very thought of I am, the very thought of I am itself is a vritti vishaya, pratyaya vishaya. In that thing, Anatma element. What is Anatma element? Being an object of a thought is Anatma. Okay. Being an object of a thought is Anatma. So there the objectness has come. Vishayatvam has already entered. Once you refer to yourself as I am so and so, the Vishayatvam you have included. Because without Vishayatvam, you can't have a thought about yourself. Without making Atma an object, you can't have a thought about yourself. When you have a thought about yourself, you have reduced Atma into an object. Or at least objectness is included in it. Objectness is imposed on it. So this is what we say Adhyasa. Therefore, Aham Idam, Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya. This is way of telling within Adhyasa we are talking that way. Already we are in Adhyasa. Then we are talking Aham Pratyaya, Yushmat Pratyaya. Don't say they are two. Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya. Two cannot be seen separately. When you separate them, both the thoughts disappear. When you Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya, you separate them, both the thoughts disappear, only Sakshi remains. So within Adhyasa alone, you can think of these two. Aham Asmat Pratyaya, Yushmat Pratyaya. You can think of them. Only when there is Aham Pratyaya, then you think of Yushmat Pratyaya also, Idam Pratyaya also. So when there is a thought, when there is Adhyasa, you have two thoughts, Aham Pratyaya, Yushmat. So Asmat Yushmat is a way of telling. But in Anubhava, Aham Pratyaya includes Idam Pratyaya. So only for distinguishing because he has to be taught. Now in order to separate this Adhyasa, this superimposition, we use the word Yushmat Pratyaya, Asmat Pratyaya, I thought and you thought. So I thought, you thought, these two thoughts are used as a prakriya to separate them. By the time you separate, no thought exists. So Aham thought and Idam thought cannot be experienced separately. Because in Aham thought, already Idam, an element of Idam thought is included. The very Aham thought, whenever there is Aham thought, Idam thought is already part of it. Therefore, Adhyasa, nobody can see gradually happening. You find yourself in Adhyasa. Whenever you are a Jiva, whenever means that's how we are. That means in your life as a Jiva, in your life as a samsari, in your life as all your vyavahara. That's why in short vyavahara. In short, in your vyavahara, you find there is already adhyasa in you. Therefore, nacha ayam pratyaya vyapadesha rupo vyavaharo varnita disha anyonyasmin anyonyatmakatam anyonya dharmanscha adhyasya pravartate sacha. Idu this adhyasa. This I am so and so, when you say, in that thing, you have already included anatma. Because without anatma, I repeat this, without anatma, even I notion doesn't exist. So, just because he told that there is aham pratyaya vishaya and idam pratyaya vishaya, now there is adhyasa between them. When they say, human mind generally thinks that first there was aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya, at later stage they become combined. That means, in this the mistake is, before adhyasa, we are imagining the two thoughts of subject and object. Before adhyasa, we are imagining that there is aham pratyaya vishaya and idam pratyaya vishaya. Later they come together. This sequentially putting is wrong, because the very aham pratyaya vishaya is already adhyasa. Therefore, without adhyasa, no thought is possible. No thinking is possible. No waking state, no dream state, no state for that matter. Any state means there is already adhyasa. So the very thinking, vichara, we are doing all this vichara within adhyasa alone. Because without adhyasa, you can't be an individual. And without being an individual, you can't think of all those things. Then, only for helping the vidyarthi, helping the jignasu, to get rid of adhyasa, we are using this language as aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya. These two words we use. See, these two words, aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya, these two cannot be seen separately. Note this. Aham pratyaya vishaya one, idam pratyaya vishaya, two separately cannot be seen. Once you separate, all pratyayas go away, only sakshi remains. Okay. Once you separate, the very separation means no adhyasa. When there is no adhyasa, no thought possible. Therefore, when there is adhyasa, already there are two. See, in adhyasa, aham, that means aham pratyaya vishaya, idam pratyaya vishaya, though we talk of these two can be experienced already in a mixed condition. Already in adhyasta condition alone, we can think of these two. When you separate them, no adhyasa possible. Then no adhyasa. Without adhyasa, you can't see these two. When you talk of these two, you are already in adhyasa. You are already aham idam mixed state. Therefore, aham and idam cannot be seen separately. When you are talking of aham pratyaya, idam pratyaya, subject, object, you are already in adhyasa. Being in adhyasa alone, you can talk of these two. That means, even the rise of aham pratyaya already includes, in fact, aham pratyaya means idam pratyaya means aham pratyaya. They are not two separate. So, in one anubhava, when we are talking these two, it is only for sake of communication. It is only for sake of thinking, for sake of vichara, for sake of prakriya we are talking of two. But in anubhava, is already one pratyaya. Okay. In anubhava, it is one pratyaya. Aham, already idam included. Once you say aham, idam is already there. Aham idam. Because without idam, aham pratyaya doesn't arise. If you separate idam, supposing atma, anatma, vingad is separated, idam pratyaya separated. When you separate idam pratyaya, aham pratyaya doesn't exist. Because pure atma cannot have pratyaya. See, if idam means what? Objectness. Objectness. If you make atma no object, then no thought is possible. If you separate the idamness, idam means what? Anatma. Anatma means what? Being an object. If being an object is removed, I thought also disappears. Because I is a thought which includes an objectivity. It includes objectness in it. Because the very thought means objectifying. Thought means very objectifying. So, aham pratyaya, that means is already a vishaya, pratyaya vishaya. Vishayatvam has come already in it. If they, suppose you want to remove the Vishayatvam, then Aham Pratyaya doesn't exist, because Aham Pratyaya doesn't exist, it cannot convey. Any Pratyaya can convey only an object. A Pratyaya cannot convey the pure subject. Because when you say a consciousness without any object, consciousness without any object element cannot be seen through any thought, because no thought arises, all thoughts disappear, only consciousness remains. Therefore, once you have a thought about consciousness, that is a Sakshi. Once you think of a Sakshi, then Sakshi becomes an object of thought. Okay, can you think of Sakshi? People say, okay, Pramatrutvam and Sakshi. Can you think of Pramatrutvam and Sakshi? Who is to think? So Pramatrutvam, Sakshi, these are all Prakriya. For sake of Prakriya, for sake of analysis, we are using the word. But Sakshi, when you think of it, then Sakshi becomes an object. Object means Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. So Sakshi becomes Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, then that is no more Sakshi. If you think of a Sakshi, it is no more Sakshi. The very thinking stops, then that is a Sakshi. Therefore, the very thinking of Sakshi is already Adhyasa. Adhyasa is there. We have entered into Adhyasa. Therefore, remaining in Adhyasa, we are talking of Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya coming together. It only implies that in your Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, both Aham Pratyaya, Idam Pratyaya is included. This is what he means to say. He is not showing that I can show you Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. He is not telling, this is Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, this is Idam Pratyaya. Now we are combining. He is not showing like that. When we say Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, we are already in Adhyasa. In Adhyasa, there are already two there. That means these two can be shown. Aham Pratyaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya can be shown only in mixed condition. When you separate them, both don't exist. See, Aham Pratyaya, Idam Pratyaya, when you separate them, neither exists. So they can be seen only in a combined Adhyastha state alone, they can be seen. In Adhyastha state alone can be seen both. If Anadhyastha, both don't exist. See, this is a rahasyam. This is the important factor. Aham Pratyaya already includes Idam Pratyaya. So, once you say Aham Pratyaya, Idam Pratyaya, then why do you talk Aham Pratyaya, Idam Pratyaya coming together? This is a way. See, first, we say like this. First, there is Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, Idam Pratyaya Vishaya. They come together, then Adhyasa takes place. 3 steps we made. All these 3 steps are within Adhyasa. And within Adhyasa alone, we are talking of these 3. 3 are only steps for communication. In Anubhava, there is only 1. There is already Adhyasa. Idam you have included, you are already Adhyastha. Therefore, in Adhyasa, in misunderstanding, Aham Pratyaya and Idam Pratyaya are there already. Okay. Therefore, Anyonyasmin Anyonyatmakatam. See, Bhashyakara says, Anyonyasmin Anyonyatmakatam. So, we are mutually imposing. When you say mutually Atma, Anatma, here one more mistake in our thinking. When you say Atma, Anatma, you imagine there are 2 things. But 2 nobody experiences separately. Only these 2, these Atma, Anatma 2 are experienced in Adhyastha condition as in a mixed state alone you can see them. In a mixed state alone, in Adhyastha condition alone you can see them. When you separate Adhyasa, Atma, Anatma, Atma alone remains, Anatma doesn't exist. Okay. When you separate, only Atma exists, Anatma doesn't exist. Because Anatma has an existence only in Adhyastha condition. Anatma appears only it is like rope and snake. It is not that first there was a rope and there was a snake. You bring together and make a mistake. Do you do like that? First there was a rope, then there is a snake. Bring them together and misunderstand. No. In the misunderstanding alone, snake is found. Snake is found only in misunderstanding. Then we say, there is Anatma snake, Atma rope. Just an example I am telling. So, Atma is rope, Anatma is snake. They come together. They come together means what? Before coming together, did they exist as 2? Before they were mixed up, did they exist as 2 separately? No. That means when you see the mistake, when you mistake the rope for snake, in that alone, in the mistaken condition alone, there are two. Then why do you talk of two? Because only to help you, it is a prakriya, it is a method of teaching. Only to help you to separate it, we talk of two. So, in the mixed condition, you don't see two. When you separate them, there is no two. See, this is interesting thing. This is the most important. This is the rahasyam. We have to say it is a secret of adhyasa. In the mixed condition, you don't see rope and snake two separately. When you have mistaken rope as a snake, you don't see rope and snake, rope and snake. Rope is mistaken for snake, snake is mistaken for rope. When you say, you are imagining two. Are there two? In the mistaken condition, there is only one. When you separate it, there is only rope and no snake. Then you told two separately. We told two as a prakriya, as a method of teaching, to help you to remove the snake and recognize the rope. Get rid of the snake, dismiss the snake. Dismiss the snake. Dismiss means sublate the snake. And once you sublate the snake, snake doesn't exist. After separating, don't think that Atma, Anatma, two you can see them. Who is to see? Suppose Atma, Anatma separated. Who is to see? Atma, which is separate from Anatma, becomes a Sakshi. Does Sakshi see other? Sakshi means Chaitanya Atma. Can Chaitanya Atma see Anatma? From the Chaitanya Atma, there is no Anatma. Okay. Chaitanya Atma doesn't see Anatma. So, the thought of Anatma comes only in an adhyasta condition. Anatma and its superimposition, both are one. Anatma and taking myself to be Anatma are not two. When I say I as an individual, here there is a thought of Atma mixing with Anatma. See, this is one thought. I, the very thought of I, in that thing there is a, you are making the Sakshi as an object of a thought in which Anatma is included. You are making the Sakshi who is not an object of thought. Sakshi who is a no thought, object of no thought, made into an object of a thought in which Anatma is already included. Because Atma can be made into a object of a thought without, it cannot be made without including Anatma thought. Anatma means very objectness. Objectness is Anatma. So, when you are thinking of Sakshi as an individual, I am Sakshi. When you say I, the very thought itself is you made the Sakshi into an object. Then individuality arises. When you think of a Sakshi as an object, then individual. That's what is I. You are referring to yourself I. How can you refer? Who is that I? Is the I Atma? If I is Atma, thought cannot come and it cannot be referred. If you make it a referable, then already that is Aham thought. If you make Sakshi as a referable to thought, the very referability through thought is individuality, is Aham thought. That is the very referability of Sakshi is individuality. That is Adhyasa. That is Aham thought. Otherwise, so whenever you refer to yourself I, that means you are already Adhyasta. Because Atma, which is not an object of a thought, you are using a I thought. You are using an I notion, Aham notion. Aham pratyaya. That very Aham pratyaya is already Anatma is included. So in that condition of Aham pratyaya Vishaya, where Idam is already included, now we are talking Aham pratyaya, Idam pratyaya, two are included. So when we say this thing, the mistake generally students do is Aham pratyaya Vishaya is one, Idam pratyaya Vishaya is another. They come together. Oh, this is a mistake is without Adhyasa. Before Adhyasa there was no Idam pratyaya Vishaya. There was no Aham pratyaya Vishaya. Nobody can see Aham pratyaya Vishaya separate and Idam pratyaya Vishaya separate. Okay. Nobody can see them two thoughts. Aham pratyaya Vishaya, Idam pratyaya Vishaya, two cannot be seen. Those two, we are talking of those two. When we are talking of those two, they are already in mixed condition. I am just repeating so that the point becomes clear to you. The aham pratyaya, idam pratyaya, when you talk of them, they are already in a mixed. In a mixed thing, you can see the two. When you separate them, both don't exist. So, aham pratyaya, idam pratyaya, vishaya coming together. Together means one thing is mistaken for the other. Aham is mistaken for idam. Idam is mistaken for adam. That means in the mistaken condition alone, you see them too. In the mistaken condition, separation is very difficult because aham and idam, because you already see them in a mistaken condition. And you remove the idamness, that means objectness from the atma. From the aham pratyaya, you remove the objectness. Object means object of any thought. You remove one object, another object, all objectness, atma becomes no thought. Atma remains without being an object of any thought. All thoughts disappear, then only Sakshi remains. So therefore, Atma cannot become an object of I thought. The pure Atma. The very I thought involves already Anatma and Adhyasa. So therefore, Anatma and taking Anatma to be myself, they are not two steps. They are not two separate things. See, people say, okay, for Adhyasa to take place, Atma we know, where did Anatma come from? Before Adhyasa, was there Anatma? No. Then in Adhyasa, Anatma, appearing Anatma and taking the Anatma to be myself. Both are one. You can't put a sequence. First, nobody can see Anatma. Who is to see Anatma first? Suppose you have to see Anatma before Adhyasa. Before Adhyasa, there is no Pratyaya. There is no Aham Pratyaya. If there is no Aham Pratyaya, then there is no Anatma. Because without Aham Pratyaya Vishaya, you become Sakshi. Sakshi doesn't see Anatma because there is no Anatma for Sakshi. Anatma is Atma alone mistaken as a something separate is Anatma. There is no such thing called Anatma. Okay? There is no such thing called Anatma. Very Sakshi mistaken as somebody else is Anatma. That mistake only in Aham Pratyaya Vishaya alone that mistake is found. That Anatma is found. Finding Anatma and identifying with Anatma and taking myself to be an individual, all these two are one. Seeing Anatma and taking myself to be Anatma, both are one. In Anubhava, one. For communication, we are dividing it. It is a prakriya for teaching purpose. Okay. It's a complicated, I know, but we have to think. We have to do vichara. If you are prepared, listen. It's a very complex. It's a very deep thing. So, sachayam pratyaya vyapadesha rupo vyavaharo varnita disha anyonyasmin anyonyatmakatam anyonya dharmamscha. Mutually. When we say mutually, mind imagines there are two. Two don't exist without Adhyasa. We think first two and then Adhyasa. Then there is a misunderstanding, mistaking takes place. Before mistaking, there were no two. In the mistake, alone we are talking of two within the mistake alone. Therefore, anyonyasmin anyonya dharmamscha. Anyonyatmakata means their mutual identity is mixed up. That means in a mixed state alone you see the experience. Your experience already involves the mixed condition. Atma, Anatma and their mutual properties also. Not only Atma, Anatma, their identities are mixed up. Identities are exchanged. Their properties are also exchanged. Exchanged means property of one as belonging to other. Property of Anatma, that is Jadatvam, it is known to consciousness, the insentiency and Anityatvam, subject to death, subject to dismissing, subject to death. Okay, subject to death is the same. So Anatma, which is object of consciousness, which is subject to change, subject to death, it is dependent. These qualities are put in the Atma. Anatma qualities putting upon Atma means what? Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. You become an individual. The thought arises. In the I thought, you have already included Anatma qualities then Atma becomes I, an individual. Atma becomes Aham Pratyaya Vishaya only by taking Anatma qualities into it. Only by identifying with Anatma. Tasmat Asmat Pratyaya Gochara Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharayoh. Of these two. Means object of Aham thought, object of Idam thought, Anyasmin Anyonyatmakatam. When you say these two, don't see two in Anubhava, they are already one. Okay. For sake of communication, because we have to separate them. We have to do Viveka. We have to distinguish them, discriminate between them. Since we need to discriminate, we talk of two. We talk of two, the two are not existing in our Anubhava, we are going to discriminate them. We are going to discriminate them, therefore we talk of those two. Anyasmin Anyatmakatam, the one thing taken for the other, one thing as an another. Adhyasya Asmat Pratyaya Gochare Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharatam Vishayini Asmat Pratyaya Gochare Yushmat. See, in this I thought, in the object of I thought, objectness is included, because without including Aham Pratyaya doesn't arise. See, the thought of I doesn't arise without including Idam, without including objectness in it. So, Asmat Pratyaya Gochare, Yushmat Pratyaya Gocharatam, see Swamiji says. Yushmat Pratyaya is already included. Vishayini Vishayatmakatam, second point. Vishayi, consciousness, the knowership. In the knowership, the knownness included. Then only I, you refer the consciousness Atma, you refer the Sakshi Atma as I. The very reference included already objectness. Otherwise, Sakshi cannot be referred. If objectness is removed, the reference of Sakshi goes away, Sakshi alone remains, without being referred by any thought. It can't be referred by any thought. Therefore, Vishayini Vishayatmakatam, Chidatmakate Jadatmakatam. In Chit Swarupa, Chit means sentiency, consciousness. In the consciousness, Jadatmakata. What is Jada? Knownness, object of consciousness. You are thinking of Sakshi. See, simple thing. When you are think of Sakshi as yourself as an individual. So, the Sakshi who is not an object of a thought made into an individual thought. That means you imagine as you think of a Sakshi, the very thinker is individual. The very thinkerhood is individuality. In that thing, Sakshi objectified, which is not possible. That's why it is Adhyasa. Chidatmakate Jadatmakatam. Therefore, you have started referring the Sakshi as I, which is not referable, which can't be referred by any thought. But you start referring by a certain thought, that means objectness is involved. Jadatmakatam Tadvaiparityena, on the contrary. Yushmat Pratyaya Gochare, Asmat Pratyaya Gochara. But in Idam, you are including consciousness. Because when you say, I thought, you are objectifying it. So that objectness is taken to be a consciousness. That means, Aham thought, when you know this table, who knows it? I am knowing it. Aham thought is knowing, isn't it? When I know the table, you say that I am knowing it. Who is that I? Aham thought. So, Aham thought is actually a thought alone. But you included consciousness into it, isn't it? Aham thought, which is a thought, you have included consciousness in it. Therefore, what does the Aham thought say? I am knowing it. Whose is the knowing nature? Knowing nature is consciousness. Consciousness doesn't belong to Aham thought, but Aham thought imagines I am knowing it, isn't it? The Aham thought thinks I am knowing the table, I am knowing the pot. Aham thought thinks it is consciousness. That means it is including the consciousness in Aham thought. Therefore, Chaitanyam is Adhyastam in Anatma. Atma is Adhyastam in Anatma, isn't it? And when I say I, when you are referring Sakshi as I, objectness is included. Two things I say. When you are referring Sakshi as I, note this, when you are referring Sakshi as I, Anatma included in it. By including Anatma, by including the knowability, you made Sakshi as I. This is one thing. This is imposing Anatma on the Atma. Now you say, imposing Atma into Anatma. Consciousness is taken as the nature of I thought. It is the I thought that is knowing the world. Okay. You think that I know the table, I know the wall, I know the book. I means what? Is the I thought knowing it? Is the I thought capable of knowledge, capable of consciousness? I thought, because I thought itself is known in the consciousness. The thought of I itself is known in the consciousness. But when we are knowing the book, we say that this aham thought is knowing the book. When you say aham thought is knowing the object, in the aham thought, consciousness is imposed. That means consciousness is taken as I thought. So consciousness is imposed on the I thought imposed on Sakshi. I thought is imposed on consciousness. So Atmani Anatma, Anatmani Atma. So this is one mixed state of experience. In our experience, we see this mixed condition. Okay. Chidatmake Jadatmakatam Mate Tad Vaiparityena Yushmat Pratyaya Gochare Asmat Pratyaya Gocharatam. In Yushmat Pratyaya Gochara, that means in you thought, you are imposing the Asmat Pratyaya Gochara. How? Aham thought is a Yushmat only. Because in Aham thought, mind is there, Indriyas are there, body is there. Taking the body is you, Indriyas are you, mind is you. This, including this alone, Aham thought arises. Aham thought doesn't arise without including body, mind and sense organs. By including body, mind and sense organs, aham thought arises. In that aham thought, you are including consciousness. Because you say it is the aham thought that is knowing. How can the aham thought get the consciousness? Aham thought itself is known in the consciousness. Okay. Any thought is known in the consciousness. But the thought thinks I am knowing the world. The aham thought thinks I am knowing the world. That means aham thought is borrowing the consciousness, including the consciousness into it. So vishaye vishayitam. Aham thought is an object, but it is including consciousness in it. It is taking consciousness into it and say that I am knowing it. Jadatmakate chidatmakatam. So Asmat Pratyaya Vishaya, which includes body, mind and sense organs, are Jada. Jada means they are known to consciousness. But those things which are known to consciousness are becoming a subject and start knowing the world. See, thought, the mind is only mind or a thought. Thought is known to consciousness, in fact. But the thought says that I am knowing the world. Thought itself being an object, how can it say that I am knowing the world? Because thought is borrowing the consciousness upon it and say that I am consciousness. So here is an adhyasa. Thought puts the consciousness upon itself and claims that I am consciousness. And the consciousness also is referred by a thought only when it includes objectness in it. So here the objectness, subjectness both have become one. In that one alone there is a aham pratyaya vishaya. Otherwise you can't have such a thought at all. If you separate them, there is only consciousness, no thought, no object, nothing. There is no anatma and there is no thought also. Thought of anatma. Neither anatma nor thought nor adhyasa. There is just advitiya consciousness. Okay. This is the important point. So, Vishaye Vishayetam Jadatmakate Chidatmakatam Cha Adhyasyaiva Vyavaharati Lokaha. So, in your Vyavahara, in your Vyavahara means you are an individual. Think of as an individual. Refer yourself as an individual and also act as an individual. In this thinking, in this knowledge, knowledge of myself, in this Vyavahara there is already Adhyasa involved in it. Without Adhyasa this Vyavahara would not have been possible. Purvapakshi told Adhyasa is impossible. Siddhanti said, Shankaracharya, don't talk of impossible, possible. No probability, it is already there. Look at it. First to look at it, it is there, that's all. Once it is there, now you have to remove it, we talk of it. Thing is, it is there. Now, you can't establish a thing based upon its probability. Set aside the probability, see whether it is there or not. If it is there, then it is over. All probability, later you defend it. Once the person has come or not from Bangalore, he has come and he says, how can he come? The other person says, come on, he is sitting here, he is come and sitting on the chair, come and see. He says, I don't want to come. I don't want to accept that he has come. You are only telling a lie and ask me to, and you are dragging me from this room, inner room to the outer room, and ask me to see, and you will make me an April Fool. I won't accept that he has not come. Because it's not possible. And he says, possible whether buses or trains are running or not, we don't know. You leave aside. He has come, I have seen, you come and see for yourself. After seeing, you talk of it. Whether possible or impossible, all that you talk later. First you see. And he says, come, he is seeing directly. Now you say the probability, how he must have come, because already has come. Once he has come, now you imagine probability whatever you want. But before seeing it, you imagine that, oh, it's not probable, therefore he has not come. See, based upon probability, his arrival, don't judge his arrival. You first see, then you talk of probability and all that later. Then probability is meaningless because he already has come. Why imagining probability and logic and all that? Because he already come, you see him right in front of you. Therefore Adhyasa is there right in front of you, right in your experience. When Adhyasa is there right in experience, how? Because there is a Vyavahara. The very Vyavahara can exist only under Adhyasa. Only under misunderstanding this Vyavahara is possible. This Vyavahara is seen. Because if there were no Vyavahara, then no Adhyasa. But where is Vyavahara? That means Adhyasa is already there. Anyasmin Vishayini, Anya Dharman Vishaya Dharman Tad Vaiparityena Anyasmin Vishaye Anyasya Vishayino Dharmanscha Adhyasya Vyavaharati iti Siddham. One paragraph is over. Should we proceed? If we proceed, it takes another one bigger paragraph. I think we will discuss tomorrow. Why Adhyasa takes place? Okay. This we have to say, Adhyasa is not within time. It doesn't take place. Now this is an important. First we told Adhyasa is. How it is we have shown. Now how does Adhyasa takes place? How did it take place? This we have to see the next point. Now it has not taken place. You find in Adhyasa. It is not an event that took place in time. How the time is already in it. And there is only mixing of Atma and Anatma. This point alone we have to say. It's a big paragraph of 1 page. I think we will discuss tomorrow. What we discussed today, you do manana on this. It becomes clear for that. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tatsat.